All right, good Saturday evening, South Mississippi. Meteorologist Taylor Graham here, joining you from the newsroom at our digital desk. As you probably already know, if you're a loyal viewer, we don't have an early evening newscast tonight, thanks to more college football. So just wanted to give everyone a heads up of what we're looking at in the forecast. Plus, there is now a chance of seeing some tropical development over the next week or so. Too early to say where exactly that system may go, but just a heads up that now the National Hurricane Center does have something highlighted as possibly developing in the Caribbean over the next 7 days. Now, first things first, we'll take a look at our forecast here locally this evening. Nice and calm once again. It was warm and a little humid at times this afternoon. Not too bad though. This evening, we're seeing temperatures beginning to drop into the 60s, and eventually tomorrow morning we'll see temperatures mainly in the upper 50s along the coast. Some low 60s not out of the question. And you also may have to watch out for a little patchy fog developing overnight tonight into Sunday morning. I don't think it's going to be a widespread major issue, but just a heads up on that if you're going to be up early in the morning. Doesn't look like it's going to be too dense, but you may see a little fog in some low-lying areas. And once we get past the sunrise tomorrow morning, it really looks like a lot of that fog is going to be clearing out of the way, and we will be in for another warm, sunny day tomorrow. Another beautiful day to spend some time outside. Looks like temperatures right now mainly in the low to mid 70s, 68 though already over in Bay St. Louis. And now that we are past the sunset, obviously, I do expect temperatures to start to fall into the 60s here within the next 30 minutes or so, giving us a little bit more of that fall feel. But the humidity just a little bit higher today, so we may see some of that patchy fog develop late tonight. As far as I can tell, the sky is mostly clear. We did see lots of sunshine today, and that's likely going to be the case again tomorrow. Not too far to our north, we do have a cold front, but this is going to be stalling just to our north. It's not going to be passing through completely, and by Monday it looks like it will be fizzling out a little bit, but we can see a few of those showers up into North Mississippi right along that boundary. And to the north of this boundary, the air is much cooler. We can see that 65 in Memphis, 50 up into Cincinnati, but we're south of that boundary, so things are still warm and a little bit more humid. We're more so seeing those 70s a bit closer to the Gulf Coast and even into parts of central Mississippi, also seeing that warmer air. So the cooler air not going to quite make its way here in South Mississippi, but at least we're still able to cool down a decent amount throughout the overnight hours. So putting this into motion on Futurecast, keeping the sky mostly clear. Again, a little patchy fog, not out of the question. I don't think it's going to be too big of an issue, but a heads up on that if you're up early Sunday morning. Tomorrow afternoon, very similar to today, it is going to be very warm for this time of the year. Temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. But if you have any outdoor plans tomorrow, you should be good to go. It's just another day, even in late October, where you want the shorts, the t-shirts, the flip-flops. Certainly going to be warm enough for that. It's still not cool enough, I should say, to really enjoy your fall wardrobe at this point. Heading into Monday, more of the same, starting off in the 50s and low 60s. We are going to be back into the low to mid 80s in the afternoon. And notice there on Futurecast, it hints at a couple of isolated showers. We do have a very small chance of seeing a little bit of rainfall on Monday and on Tuesday. It's not much. Don't get your hopes up high, but could finally see maybe a few raindrops heading into this upcoming week. Overall, though, the pattern is still looking pretty dry. Rain chance is still looking slim Monday and Tuesday, even though there is finally a chance of getting a few isolated showers. And another front is going to be trying to make its way in by Wednesday and Thursday. Still not going to pass through completely. Looks like that front is also going to stall to our north and west, but we may see a little bit more moisture pull up along the Gulf Coast by Wednesday and Thursday, giving us a chance for a few more isolated showers at that point. Now, I know we do need more rain around here, but thankfully rain chances are still looking on the low end for Halloween, which is on Thursday. I know we need more rain, but at this point, your Halloween plans are looking like they're in pretty good shape. However, hopefully your costume is not going to be too thick or too heavy. It's still going to be warm and also more humid on Halloween. Dew points will start to climb up into the upper 60s and low 70s. It's going to be feeling a little bit more muggy at that point by the middle to end of the week. Just a little bit more of a summertime feel rather than fall. So again, hopefully your costume, if you're going to be wearing one, is going to be breathable this year because it is going to be a little bit humid at times. At least there is going to be a bit of a breeze though by Wednesday and Thursday. And in fact, that southeast wind that we expect to pick up is actually going to help to increase the humidity as we head into the middle of the week. So a first glance at your trick-or-treating forecast. This is for Thursday evening. It is going to be warm, maybe 1 or 2 isolated showers, not completely out of the question. I don't think it's going to be a washout, but the main thing you probably should take note of is the warm, slightly muggy air. Maybe plan accordingly for your costume this year. Again, rain could be there. Doesn't look like it's going to be very much at this time, but of course we'll let you know if anything changes. So that is some good news for trick-or-treating. Over the next 7 days, we're still looking at less than 1/4 of an inch of rain. Good news for outdoor plans, but of course we do need more rain around the area. It's been a while since we've had any significant rainfall here in the area, and if my memory serves me right, it's now day 22 without measurable rainfall here in Gulfport at the airport. Burn bans at this time still in place for Greene and George County, also now into Perry County. They have not been extended just yet to the 3 coastal counties, nor Pearl River and Stone, but given that it is so dry and we don't expect to see much rain over the next few days, I don't recommend any outdoor burning. It's not banned at this time, but I would say it's not wise to burn at this time with it being so incredibly dry. Taking a look at our month-to-date rainfall here in Gulfport, it hasn't changed much, still at 0.15. Our normal month-to-date rainfall is over 3 inches, so we're running a 3-inch deficit for the month of October. Now, we still have a surplus of rainfall technically for the year in Gulfport. Not the case in Moss Point. We've got a deficit in the monthly rainfall and also the yearly rainfall, and that's where drought conditions have been worse, more so into George and Jackson County. But if things don't improve, we may see that drought extended a little bit farther to the west into parts of Harrison and Hancock County, just because we really haven't seen much rain across the entire area. But again, if you have any outdoor plans for Halloween this week, I think the weather should be pretty cooperative. It's just going to be a little bit breezy at times by Wednesday and Thursday, and the humidity is also going to be higher. Now, giving an update in the tropics, we don't have anything threatening the Gulf Coast at this time. However, we have noticed that forecast models have been hinting at maybe some sort of development in the Caribbean over the next week, more so at the very end of October by Halloween and into very early November. Too early to say where the system may go. We haven't even had anything develop at this time, but we may see a broad area of low pressure try to develop in the Caribbean over the next week. We'll keep an eye on things. This is also lining up with the Climate Prediction Center. They have been hinting that somewhere in the Caribbean is the most likely area where we could see some tropical development by the end of the month. Generally speaking, we don't typically see tropical systems move into the Gulf of Mexico or develop in the Gulf of Mexico at this point in the year. It can happen. If you remember, just 4 years ago, we did have Hurricane Zeta. That was at the end of October. But I'm just saying, generally speaking, at this point in the year, we start to see less and less tropical activity. Doesn't mean we should let our guard down, but at least the trend is our friend. Of course, we will let you know how that system in the Caribbean may develop, if it develops at all. So stay tuned on that. But at least once we head into November, generally the tropics start to wind down a little bit more. And here locally, the weather is looking very quiet, which is good and bad. Good for outdoor plans. Bad, though, in terms of some rainfall that we really could use around the area. Halloween at this point looking warm, a little muggy for trick-or-treating, maybe a couple of showers here or there. Maybe not quite feeling like Halloween this year. If I remember correctly, last year Halloween was actually nice and cool. This year, not so much. And it even looks like heading into the first couple of days of November, we're not really seeing much of a cool down at this point. We'll keep those temperatures above average in the low 80s. And we're also not going to be as cool over the next several nights, especially by Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night. And that's because that higher humidity is not going to allow us to cool down as much. We're looking at lows more so in the mid to even upper 60s on the coast. If you live north of I-10, you're still going to be cooling off a little bit more in the mornings, but maybe not feeling quite as refreshing by Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday morning with those lows back into the 60s. But it could be worse. At least it's not going to be anything intense like what we would deal with during the summertime months. But if you were hoping for some more Halloween-like weather, it doesn't look like that's going to be happening this year, but at least we're not expecting a ton of rainfall for trick-or-treating. Beyond Halloween, rain chance is still looking fairly low, which I know a lot of us would be hoping at that point we would get more rainfall. Just not in the cards right now. Eventually we will get rain. When that's going to be, it's hard to say, but at least for the time being, we just don't have a ton of rain in the forecast. That being said, I'm going to wrap it up here in the newsroom on our digital desk. We will have our regularly scheduled newscast at 10 o'clock this evening. That will likely be going on CBS on time rather than ABC, depending on college football and how that all plays out. So hopefully you will join us at 10 o'clock tonight with another update on the forecast and what's going on in the tropics. So for now, I hope everyone has a fantastic Saturday evening, and hopefully we will see you back at 10.